dasa chatradhara basi ache korachan ratna simhasan arati kare na brahma hari deva gane nara hare hare kare chamara dolaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basho Gashare Gaya Shanka Baje Kanta Baje Baje Karatala Marora Mridanga Baje Paramara Sala Madur 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 Bade Shanka Bade Ganta Bade Madur 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 Bade Gauranga Shanka Bade Gata Bade Madur 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 Bade Shanka Bade Gata Bade Madur 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 Bade Shanka Bade Gata Bade Madur 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 Bade Madur 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 Bade Madur 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 Bade Jaya Gauralita 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 Jaya Gauralita Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Gauranitai ki Baba ho kate Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala Deshe Banamala Ghore Jalamala Shiva Shuka Narada Prema Gada Bhakti Vinora Deke Gorara Sabhara Kima Jaya Jaya Gora Chandar Arati Koshoba Tatavane Jagamana Loba Gaurangera Roti Shoba Jagajana Manaloba Shobha Jagadana Manaloba Garangira Rote Shobha Jagadana Manaloba Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanandi. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashatya Deshatarine Prabhu Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Ibo Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Vivo
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Gauranga
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hari Bol.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Evo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Evo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. River. Hare Shri Gaura Nitai Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaura Premanandi
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacha Asadura Sutashi Shimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacha Asadura Sutashi Shimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Anand Kori Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ramsako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kundagi Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navari Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai, Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktavan Ki Jai, Jai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the Samurvaris. All glories to the Samurvaris. All glories to the Samurvaris. All glories to Shri Guru and Goranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Urtvarai Krishna Stai Bhutri Shmara Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nindana Manana Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Mani Prachari Nandini Shesha Shunnavari Bhashchati Nishtarine. Krishna Mataji, would you like to give a class? Play the guitar.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Shri go to Prema Nandi. Saraswati Devi Gaunamani Prajani Nandi Visheshashane Bari Pasti Jaja Shatana.
Yeah, cool.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatara Shatashri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatara Shatashri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. From Sakaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mai Podam Ki Jai, Shri Vindamandam Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yaga Ki Jai, Ranjaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Prema Nandi, Hari 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 Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to all glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamani Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaunavani Prajanine Visheshashan Vari Paschita Shatanine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday Love Feast, online, in person. Thank you for coming to this Krishna Consciousness meeting. We're going to be reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Does anyone know what text? All right, well, okay. So we're going to be reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, text 12. Okay. Savadvarani samyamya manoridi nuyudha cha mudni adhyatmanaha pranam astito yoga dharanam. Does anyone else want to try the Sanskrit? Is it 8:12?
Read the Sanskrit? Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to find it.
12.
8:12.
Okay. Sarvadvarani samyamya.
Savadvarani samyamya. Manoridi nirudhya cha. Mudi admanaha pranam. Astito yoga dharanam.
Davarani Samyama
Savadvarani samyamya
Mano Hadri Niruddhaka
Mano Hridi Nirudhyacha
Badini Atha Yatamana Pranam
Murdni Adhyatmanaha Pranam
Ashito Yoga Dharanam
Astito Yoga Dharanam
Savadvarani Samyamya
Savadvarani samyamya
Manohadi Darudhya Cha
Mano Hridi Nirudhyacha
Mudhuni Adhayat Mana Pranam
Mudni Adhyatmanaha Pranam
Ashito Yoga Dharanam
Astito Yoga Dharanam
8-12, yeah?
Yeah.
Sarvadvarani samyamya
Savadvarani samyamya
Manohardi nirudhyacha
Mano Hridi Nirudhyacha
Murdni adhayatmana pranam
Mudni Adhyatmanaha Pranam
Ashito yoga dharanam
Astito Yoga Dharanam
Sarvadrani samyamya
Savadvarani samyamya
Mano hridi nirudhyacha
Mano Hridi Nirudhyacha
Murni adyat manaha pranam
Mudni Adhyatmanaha Pranam
Astito yoga dharanam
Astito Yoga Dharanam Savadvarani all the doors of the body.
all the doors of the body
Samyamya
samyamya
controlling. Manaha
manaha
mind. Hridi in the heart. Nirudhya
nirudhya
confined.
fine
Cha also.
also
Murdni
Murni
on the head.
on the head
Adhaya
Adaya
fixed.
fixed
Admanaha soul.
soul
Pranam the life air.
the life air
Astitaha
Astitaha
situated.
situated
Yoga Dharanam the yogic situation.
the yogic situation
Translation. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. To practice yoga, as suggested here, one first has to close the door of all sense enjoyment. This practice is called pratyahara, or withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. Sense organs for acquiring knowledge, such as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, should be fully controlled and should not be allowed to engage in self-gratification. In this way, the mind focuses on the supersoul in the heart, and the life force is raised to the top of the head. In the 6th chapter, this process is described in detail. But as mentioned before, this practice is not practical in this age. The best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance, or in samadhi. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Shakshinam Militamyena Jasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is kindly opening my darkened eyes with this torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto His lotus feet, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I also offer my humble obeisances unto His Grace Purujit Prabhu, who is kindly teaching us how to follow Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So, Hare Krishna again, and welcome to the Bliss Sunday Love Feast. Welcome to everyone online. Hare Krishna to you all. There'll be questions at the end. So this is our weekly program where we invite people like yourself who are practicing some sort of yoga, you're practicing some sort of renunciation, but it's very difficult. So you come to do in community and you come to maybe find a better way. So this is what this text is offering, a way how to control the senses whilst not artificially renouncing them. We in this movement, in Krishna Consciousness, are incredibly lucky because we have Srila Prabhupada. There are many different religions and organizations and cults and sects and systems which promise attainment of heaven, attainment of desires and reaching the perfection of life. But none of them can give a practical way of how we can give up addictions and give up the wrong use of our senses, because none of them give a practical higher use of those senses. Whereas in Krishna Consciousness, our Srila Prabhupada, he comes and he engages us. He engages us, and Lord Chaitanya, he engages us and he saves us and he shaves us. So we all need engagement. All the time we are engaged. Funnily enough, when I was walking home today to the temple, I realized that before I came to Krishna Consciousness, I thought I was so chill and zen and I just wouldn't need to do, and now I'm doing so much all the time. But when I actually reflected, I realized I'm always doing something. I was always doing something then. It's just the drugs that I was taking, the distractions, were making it less obvious to me. But factually, we are always doing something. You can never stop doing something, even for a second. Even if you think, oh, this is too much for me, this is too much action, this Krishna Consciousness, let me go and do some silent meditation. You are still acting, you are still doing when you're sitting on the mat, when you're breathing. The soul is active. It is the active principle in the body, and there is not a single moment where it is inactive in this life, in this material world, or in the spiritual world. So knowing that, we have to have another option. We cannot just sit down and pretend that we're going to be happy not doing anything. You can't sit alone in a room for more than an hour without being bored. Just see how long you can sit alone staring at a wall before you go on your phone and you look for some association. So we are always looking for engagement. And the easiest way, as Srila Prabhupada here says, the best process is Krishna Consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi. So what is Krishna Consciousness actually? Krishna Consciousness is a process and it's an outcome, and the outcome is in the process. And what it means is changing your awareness from that of a material consciousness. I am this body and everything in relation to my body, my work, the work that I do, the fruits of that work, my family, my friends, my children, my clothes, my body, everything is mine, and I'm the controller and I'm the doer, and I just do and I have fun and I work and I get a relationship and I make money and I eat and I sleep and I have sex, I defend myself and then I die, and that's it, and who knows what happens next. To Krishna Consciousness, and that consciousness, it goes like this: I am a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That Supreme Lord is my eternal Father, my eternal best friend, and I want to get to know him. And I want to engage myself in his service, because God is everything. You can't escape God's service. You only have one choice, whether to serve his material energy or to serve his spiritual energy. And everyone that is here watching now, in person, online, you are quite likely here because you've spent a fair amount of time serving his spirit, his material energy, and you've come to the conclusion that it sucks, it doesn't get you what you want. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be here. If you were fully satisfied by serving Krishna, God's material energy, you wouldn't be here standing up and chanting the same 3 words for an hour. So you're clearly looking for something different. There's another opportunity. That's choice 1. Choice 2 is you serve Krishna's spiritual energy. And being spirit soul in constitution, not this material body, this is just a covering, but being constitutionally spirit soul, serving the spiritual energy of God is going to be the more fulfilling option. So this is what we're here learning how to do. And how to do it, it's very easy. You don't have to sit down for hours and hours and stare at a wall. You don't have to sit and focus on the breath just like the yogis would do in the past ages. This Krishna consciousness is always the same, but the way that we go about it is different in different ages. The different acharyas, they come at different times and they spread the message of how to attain Krishna consciousness according to time, place, and circumstance. So in the super high vibrational, the first of the yugas, there's 4 yugas in a cycle, Satya Yuga, the longest one. Don't ask me how long, I forgot, because we're in Kali Yuga. But in Satya Yuga, the way to attain Krishna consciousness, you can meditate for hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of years because they had the propensity for it. The time was different, the atmosphere was different, the brain was different, the physicality was different, everything was different. And as the ages progress through there's 2 other ages, so it starts off absolute perfect, everyone's great, and then slowly throughout time, and it's the same cycle all the time round, it's the same cycle, things degrade. We go for more vices, and now we're in Kali Yuga. As you can probably see, if you look outside, you look how everyone is treating the earth, you look at the news, how we're treating each other, you look at yourself and see just how awful your mind is, how horrible you are really, how prone to mistakes, how prone to illusion, how hateful we are towards ourselves and other people and everything. We are in Kali Yuga, so this is the last stop before we start afresh. And in Kali Yuga, the recommended, required is not an option. You can't do it another way. You don't have a Satya Yuga brain, sorry. The recommended way, the required way, is to engage your senses in the service of the Lord, because the senses are pulling. The ear wants to hear nice music. The eye wants to look at beautiful girl, boy, person. The nose wants to smell nice smells. The hands want to touch nice cool things, nice fashions, furs, nice body. And the mouth wants to taste lovely things, and it won't stop. You cannot artificially renounce your senses. That's why you're here. You're looking for a way to renounce them in a better way. And that's what we're offering. That's what Srila Prabhupada is offering. How to do it then? If you can't just renounce them, you engage them. There was once a bus in the Krishna Consciousness movement, and it said Krishna Consciousness, the positive alternative, I believe. So this is what is being offered right here, right now, a positive alternative. Your eyes are always going to want to look at beautiful things. You know, if you go on the tube, you cannot stop your eyes from looking. So what we're required to do, if you want to stop looking at that, you've got to look somewhere. You can't just close your eyes and bury your head in the sand. We're bombarded with hundreds, possibly even thousands of advertisements every day. So what do you do instead? You place your attention on the beautiful form of Krishna. Gorgeous, something to look at. Why look at a model? Krishna is so gorgeous, and what's wonderful about Krishna's form is that it's transcendental. It's spiritual, which means it doesn't end. The beauty and the pleasure of Krishna doesn't end. So if you, and you all have this experience, you go on Instagram, you're looking for sense grab. You're looking for something inspiring. You start scrolling and you find that very quickly you have to keep scrolling because it's not hitting the spot. Nothing can hit the spot unless and until you come across a picture of Krishna. And then you will see the difference. There's something for the eyes to really look at. There's something for you to work with, because you are the soul. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. Everything is provided. If you come looking for self-realization in this day and age, you're very much likely to be cheated. And what you get, and what we get especially on book distribution, is many so-called yogis and so-called spiritualists saying, oh yes, I'm a yogi, I've got it all sorted, I'm fine, I'm fine. And what you find is that they spend their time desperately trying to make money, and then desperately trying to spend it on boozy brunches and girls and boys and clothes and hairstyles that make them feel like they're doing something important with their lives, but they're really doing nothing except for wasting time until they die and they have to get a new body. But this human form of life is so special, because we are sitting down here having a discussion about the highest possible topic in life, God. There can be nothing higher. And so you don't see a turtle or a dog or a fish coming and saying, oh yes, I'd like to chant, let's do it. You don't see that, because that's not how it works. They'll have their time. Every single living thing is an individual spirit soul, and we all go through the different bodies until we get here. So this is the last stop. There's something quite wonderful that Srila Prabhupada says, I'm paraphrasing, but he says something like that we should think that so many lives I've spent in sense gratification, so many lives I've spent trying to make it work, make myself happy. Let me just give it a try. Let me just experiment and give this one life to Krishna. Just see. And you can, if it doesn't work out, you can always come back. You can always try it again. You can always gratify your senses. That's always, that option is always there. There's always going to be cycles. The cycle, Prakriti, material nature, is eternal. So you always have the opportunity to do your sense gratification. But if you're here already, if you're listening to what I'm saying, if you're here in this room, if you picked up a book, if you find yourself anywhere near the vibration of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then why not just give it an experiment and don't hesitate. Everything is provided here. If you want to do a 180 and turn your life around and actually start living as a human being, firstly, because living as a human being starts with the inquiry, who am I? And what am I doing here? These inquiries. Otherwise, is animal life no better than an animal? So if you're ready to start living, actually coming alive, then you simply come. You come in person, you come online, you go to Prabhupada's books, and you inquire, okay, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. How can I start? That is a moment of surrender. That is very much required. How did Arjuna, this is in this Bhagavad Gita, I understand you're reading Bhagavad Gita. So in the Bhagavad Gita, we have a situation where Arjuna, he's playing the role of the living, he's a living entity, not ordinary living entity like you and I, but he's a living entity, and he's playing the role of the conditioned soul. He's playing a role because he's not actually, he is an eternal associate of Krishna, but he is put into a position of illusion just so that Krishna can sing the Bhagavad Gita and explain all this information to us, how to be Krishna conscious, how to practice Krishna consciousness. So they're in a situation on the battlefield and they're having a chat at the start. Arjuna starts to freak out. He realizes that he's about to kill his whole family. He freaks out and he's giving all these excuses why he can't do it. The family will break apart, then the woman will go down, and then the Varnashankaras, that means unwanted children that come from ignorance, they will come, they'll ruin everything. So I can't do it. And he sits down and his bow slips and he says, I'm not going to do it. But before he says, I'm not going to do it, he says that I'm a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Please instruct me. So when it comes to Krishna consciousness, there comes a point when you realize that you cannot manufacture, you don't know. Of course, in your heart, you know everything already. You are a pure devotee, but you're not at that stage because your heart is completely blocked. So what we have is the spiritual master who opens our darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. And there's also a prayer that we recite every day. It goes like this: Samsaradava Naralida Loka Tranaya Karuna Ganat Ganatvam Prabtasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. The spiritual master, I'm sorry if this is wrong, but the spiritual master is, the Sankirtan movement is cleansing the dust on the mirror of the heart. So the heart, in its natural state, it's perfect. Okay, just like people say, I know it all already. Yeah, you know it all already, but you are not you. You're not acting as you. You're acting like a false version of yourself. So we require a moment of surrender. There comes a time, in all the devotees here, they will remember that at the beginning you have some taste. Okay, we're doing Krishna consciousness, I'm chanting, I'm reading, yeah, I've got it, Prabhupada, my guru, like that. But there comes a point where you need that association and you need to take your natural position as lower, as a servant, and to say to the authority, to the more learned devotees, please instruct me. Then you become a bhaktin, a practicing Krishna conscious devotee in progress, and then you can learn. So this mood of surrender is extremely important. And to have that moment of surrender, you first must agree with this very simple truth that you are not your body. We are not our bodies. It is impossible for you to be your body because the body is changing. The body, someone could chop my arms off, my legs off, they could leave just like my head and my heart, and I would be, all over the floor, but I wouldn't be. I would be here. And even if my heart stops and my brain stops, I'm still here because I'm the soul. So this is the first truth. Once we come to terms with that, then we can move forward and we can start to appreciate what is on offer here. We are all suffering very, very, very much because we are engaging our senses in Maya, in illusion, and because we are spirit souls, we cannot be fulfilled by temporary things. You cannot be fulfilled by having a nice career. You cannot be fulfilled by having an impressive family or a beautiful wife. You cannot be fulfilled by owning the new Fendi bag. You cannot be fulfilled by having the best golf score. You cannot be fulfilled by having box tickets at the opera. You cannot be fulfilled by being on the cover of Vogue. You cannot be fulfilled by having your materialistic dreams come true, because it's all temporary and ultimately it means nothing. Nothing that you do here on earth means anything unless it's related to Krishna, because this is what life is for. Once you start engaging in Krishna, in Krishna's world, in Krishna's service, not his temporary Maya energy, but his spiritual energy, you start walking a different path, the path back home, back to Godhead. This is the path of life. Anything else is just a waste of time. When you are engaging your senses in Krishna consciousness, that means when you are looking at pictures of Krishna, you're watching Krishna movies, you're looking at the deity instead of going to the cinema, watching Netflix and reading novels. When you are engaging your ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord and associating with the devotees, talking with them, hearing from them, instead of smoking ganja with your friends. When you are eating Krishna prasadam, honoring Krishna prasadam, food that's been offered to Lord Krishna, instead of eating McDonald's, when you are touching Srila Prabhupada's books, using your body and bowing down in front of the deity instead of using it to dance in a club and move against some girl that hates you. When you do all those things, then you're going to feel a sense of movement in your life. Because when you do all those things, you actually start waking up. You actually start walking the path. Otherwise, you're just veering off to the side. But once you start, and once you fix yourself on that path of Krishna consciousness, how do you fix yourself? Knowledge, reading, hearing, trying to understand, asking questions, trying to understand, I'm not this body, so what is important in life? If I'm not my body, what am I to do for eternity? You get fixed on the path and the stuff really starts to move. But we should not hesitate, should not waste a single second. You should immediately pick up the beads, get on the live stream, tag people, share, set up a donation, start a kirtan, make some prasadam, do something with your life, use your senses in Krishna consciousness, and then you can do anything. And you do it for Krishna, and you'll be really happy, and you'll be a real yogi. And then, when you do like that, when you fix your mind on Krishna in devotional service, then it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi. So just like here at the temple, we have a wonderful opportunity to be in this samadhi because we wake up, one wakes up according to, what they can do. But the program starts at 4:30. So already that's pretty early. So say like latest you wake up at 4, that's pretty early in the morning for most people. So you get up immediately, you can hear a class, you can start reading. You have the whole morning program. If you've been with us, I know that Bhakti-Mo has stayed a few times, and the devotees here, they'll know that immediately your senses are engaged. We have a whole morning program. It starts with the prayers, it goes on for more prayers, it goes on to japa, chanting, meditation for an hour and a half, however long it takes you. And then it goes on to the class. It's a different form of engaging your senses. You're hearing, you're helping set up the live stream. And then it moves on immediately. Ishtagoshti, we're talking about the running of the temple. We're planning the services for the day. What festivals are coming up? Engaging. And then it's prasadam, honoring prasadam, serving the devotees. And then it's washing up, it's cleaning, it's getting ready to go out, it's taking rest, it's reading, it's discussing with the devotees, it's getting yourself ready. And then it's going out the door, and it's traveling, and it's talking, and it's reading, and then it's engaging yourself in that service, whether you're working on the Bliss magazine, Matchless Gift, or you're working on a movie at the computer all day, like His Grace Purujit Prabhu, or you're out all day pushing books, pushing this message to try and wake up the conditioned souls. Jeev Jago, wake up, you rascal, get up. This is your life, this is your opportunity, stop wasting it. Come, let's practice, let's chant. And then you come home. In the temple, we have more opportunity. It doesn't just end there. You wash your clothes. You get ready for the next day. The evening program, Gora Arati. There's more prayers. There's class. There's more prasadam. There's getting ready for the next day. There's bed. And because you're up so early, you sleep like a light. So there's no single second, unless you make a second, which is folly. There's no single second where you have to be unengaged. And that's ideal because we don't want to be unengaged. We always want to be engaged and we always want something new. So what we have here, thanks to the mercy of Purujit Prabhu, who founded this temple, who worked tirelessly alone for years, distributing books, training nonsense people who came and attacked him and took from him and stole from him, to cultivating, and then Maitreya Prabhu comes, and then the Prabhus from Slovenia, and then Devi Mataji, and then the other Matajis come, and here we are in this temple, and we're trying to make a space for others to benefit as we have benefited from Purujit Prabhu's sacrifice, who has benefited from Srila Prabhupada's sacrifice, who did the same thing, but on a majorly large scale. So we need your help as well. This is necessary. Once you understand how important it is, and I should say also how fun and wonderful it is, what we're doing here, then you join us in whatever way you can, and you help us expand. Because you're here now learning about the highest possible thing that can ever leave someone's lips, Krishna consciousness. So we should spread this message far and wide. But of course it starts with you. You have to first be convinced. So what else can we talk about? This is rather nice. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi. So often the devotees are asking, how do I think of Krishna whilst I'm doing my service? Actually, someone asked us this morning in the class this morning by Purujit Prabhu. Peter Krishna Prabhu asked, how do we think of Krishna while we're working? Or someone asked, maybe it wasn't, it's usually him, asked like that. And he said, you sacrifice the result. You should give 50%. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. Somehow or other, you release the fruits of your work, and then you become unentangled, and then that is Krishna consciousness. If you give 50%, you're as good as the devotee in the temple, like that. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. So it's not that we have to, visualize the transcendental form of Lord Sri Krishna whilst I'm distributing a book. I'm distributing a book and I'm like trying to visualize Krishna at the same time, or like that. That's very cool if you can do that. But it's the service itself that is Krishna consciousness. We should also remind ourselves why we're doing what we're doing. I'm doing this for Krishna, I'm doing this for Krishna. But it's the service itself. So for the devotees who are fixed, like the devotees living here in devotional service, we should always be attentive in every single action that we do, because the perfection of the service and the result of perfect service that we're looking for is in the moment, because it's about your consciousness. It's about how you're doing something. So I wish I could be like this. This is the absolute goal, is to be fully attentive in each thing that you're doing. Attentive while you're mopping the floor. Even if you're rushing to go out, still let there be some consciousness. I'm rushing to go out so I can distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Wow, this is awesome. And once you're attentive, you can notice how great it is, and kind of kill any part of the mind that says, oh, I just want to rest, or I don't want to do it like that. So attentiveness is such a key. But some austerity has to be there. You cannot progress in yoga, any form of yoga, without some austerity. So here we are offering very nice austerity. You listen to wonderful music, you dance, you have nice relationships, you chat, you have really good Krishna prasadam every single day, feast, insane. No one else eats like this. You can't eat like this in the Kami world. Or you can go and take up to some bogus practice with a bogus guru that tells you that you can continue with your sinful activities, you can continue with your nonsense activities, and you're going to get the same result. But we know that's not true, because that's why we're here. So please, somehow or other, take up to this path of Krishna consciousness. And how to do it, I think, is pretty clear. But maybe not, because I was hearing that there was one class and Srila Prabhupada is explaining, just associate with the devotees, associate with the devotees. And some devotee or someone says, how do you associate with the devotees? And Srila Prabhupada says, you still don't know? You've been hearing this? Just live here, stay here. You can do like that. All the engagement is there. The blueprint of Krishna consciousness is already there. It's not up to you to make something new or put your opinion. Is not necessary here. The blueprint for perfect Krishna consciousness is here, and we are offering it to you for free every single day. So all you have to do is come and jump in and slot yourself in, and you will find your place in life, and you will flourish. You'll become more beautiful. You'll become happy. Of course, this is not the reason. The best reason to come to Krishna consciousness is because you're curious about the supreme absolute truth. But one comes to Krishna consciousness for varying reasons. I think it's 4 reasons. One is looking for wealth. One is looking for relief from suffering. One is looking for knowledge, and one is inquisitive. Yeah. So like that. So it doesn't matter how you come here, somehow or other come, slot yourself into this jigsaw. It's like, you can try and slot yourself into the material world, but you're going to get kicked out because you don't belong there, because you're not material, you're the spirit soul. But you belong here. It doesn't necessarily mean here at the temple. Of course, that's great. Come, let's do it in person. But you belong with Krishna. Krishna is your supreme best friend, your supreme lover, your supreme husband or wife, your supreme father, your supreme parent. So when you're in the arms of Krishna, i.e. when you're acting in his devotional service, you're never alone, you're always happy, you know what to do and when to do it. And this is what we're looking for. Instead of flailing about like a headless chicken, trying to make something of ourselves in this material world, there's no point. It's temporary. But what you do in Krishna consciousness, it is eternal. So chant Hare Krishna, come to the temple, read this Bhagavad Gita, try and understand, and remember that you're a devotee. You've got nothing to do with this material world. Don't waste a single moment further. Don't step out the door into Maya. Step into Krishna, step into your life, and be happy. Either you want happiness or you don't. If you're not ready for it, don't worry, you've got eternity. But be intelligent, start now. Don't waste a moment longer. I will end the class here. So if anyone has any questions or they want to understand something further, I would do my very best.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does anybody else have a question first?
Anyone has a question? You raise your hand.
You go first.
No, you can go.
Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. I was just wondering, we're saying about like different reasons for coming to Krishna consciousness. Is it like wrong to like come to one thing over like another thing? So like, let's say, like for me, for instance, I came to Krishna consciousness. I was feeling like distressed about my mental health. I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I want to like find some way to become more peaceful in my life and be less angry at things in my life. So yeah, that was my reason. So is it wrong to come to that over like, let's say someone else was like purposely looking for a God or Krishna? So yeah.
Thank you for your question. No. It's definitely not wrong to come to Krishna in any way. Someone that comes to Krishna because they are looking for the supreme absolute truth, they might be a little more further along in their journey of life because their desire might be more pure, but somehow or other you've come, so take shelter. It's okay. And you might find, okay, you came here first because you want to be happy, because you're finding distress in your life, and then as you start practicing, you realize, oh, I also want money, and I'm also inquisitive. You find out that you're actually a lot more impure than you think you are. It's a purificatory process. So That's a very nice question. It's good that you're questioning, like, oh, am I a rascal because I come to Krishna for happiness? No, intuitively you know that God, Krishna, is the reservoir of your happiness, and you can't find it anywhere else apart from him personally, not his energy, but him personally. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I know from like myself, like my intentions like changed from just like seeking peace. It's gone from serving Krishna instead, you know, directing like or trying to direct like every action towards serving Krishna. So yeah, at least I noticed for myself, my intentions changed, but I recognise still that I was holding myself aback by a lot of my actions through my life beforehand. So yeah.
We do tend to do that.
Yeah.
We hold ourselves back because it's a big change. It's a big change. We're doing it. What does Srila Prabhupada call the Srimad Bhagavatam? The re-spiritualization of society. So this is a complete 180. You're thinking from a consciousness of this is me, I'm the body, and this is my life, and I'm the controller, and I'm happy, to, oh my God, no, I'm totally out of control, and Krishna is controlling everything, and okay, that's a major 180. So, you know, give yourself a little pat on the back, okay? You've come here, and that's very, very wonderful. And it's very good that you're inquiring if you're a rascal. Yes, you are, because you're here in the conditioned world. But that's okay. You know, you've come to Krishna, so you're here now. And yes, your motives will change. And, you know, don't ever think that you're pure or perfect, because you'll realize next second that you are not. Yeah. But with the process of Krishna consciousness, you will be. And the perfection is to just want to please Krishna. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, that's what makes us happy, so it works. It's a win-win situation. But the pure devotees, they don't care for their well-being. That makes them happy. But they don't care for their well-being. They just want to please Krishna, and that is their highest joy. So when you read, when you chant, when you take Krishna Prasadam, these are transcendental processes. You're getting purified. This wisdom will be revealed to you from within. So never think that this is mundane piety, like, oh, I chanted my rounds today, so I, should be better tomorrow, like that. No, whatever comes up in your path is medicine, is part of the journey. You take it with you, and you grow, and your desire will purify.
Yeah, because like today I was reading Bhagavad Gita saying about how, it's not about so much the result, whether you're going to get something from something or you're going to lose out or whatever from the situation. It's more serving Krishna, and that's the main thing in everything that we do for the devotees. So, yeah.
Yes, just engage yourself 24/7. No gap philosophy, says Vishnu Jan Swami Maharaj. No gap. Just give an experiment. You said you're interested in the Bhakti training program. This is a whole nother level, from dipping my toe in the water to I'm going to dive in. And you give it a go, if you're ready for the challenge. And you try, no gap, and you see that it works. But you have to try it. Like that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Any other question here? Junior, you have a question?
So thank you for a nice class. I've been wondering, you say that Krishna consciousness is happiness and all that, but it seems very limiting. The activities, they seem very limiting. Like you mentioned, like the daily schedule of a devotee, it seems very limiting. Just praying and chanting and then, speaking about Krishna and then taking some food and going to rest, to sleep. So, but outside, we have so many engagements. People do all kinds of things, skydiving and this diving and basketball and football and gym and Netflix and 1,000 movies and computer games and this sex, that sex. So many things. We have there's so much more variety. So it seems very limiting, Krishna consciousness. So how would you reconcile with it?
Thank you for your question, Dhananjay Prabhu. I get what you mean. I wrote a song about this. And here's what it is. Our activities that we do, they're the same, yes. But the quality is spiritual. That means that it's alive. Everything that we do is alive. And it depends on what we bring to it. So you can chant japa every day for thousands of years and go nowhere in your Krishna consciousness if you don't bring your full self to the table. If you can read these books, but if you're not unlocked in the mind, if you're not surrendered, it's not going to come through. So and you can associate with the devotees, you can live with the devotees, but if you inside think, oh, I know better, oh, they're doing something wrong over there, that's wrong, then you're never going to get the nectar. So what makes it different is that although the activities might seem limited, or they might be as they are, japa, meditation, chanting, actually, if you look at them, they are unlimited because they are transcendental. So the pleasure that you can receive from those activities are unlimited. And that's how we can do them every single day without getting bored. Whereas if you go in the material world where it's all temporary, and just like my example with the scrolling, you can't look at one picture, you can't watch one video, you have to keep scrolling because the enjoyment is finite. But when you do something in relation to Krishna, the enjoyment is infinite. So you can do the same thing, you could chant the same 3 words, Hare Krishna Rama, but every day you can extract, or you can be privy to more pleasure and more realization because they're unlimited. They're like pools. If you jump into a material pool, you jump in, you swim, like you can't go anywhere. There's a bottom. But if you jump into a pool of Krishna consciousness activity, even just one pool, even just book distribution, take just book distribution, and you jump into that pool, it is unlimited what you can discover depending on how much you look into it. Because you can read one quote about book distribution, it can unlock some inspiration, and then you have a whole new experience, and you're doing the same thing every day. Just like this morning I saw you suddenly started to chant in front of Lord Chaitanya. New inspiration. You're doing the same thing, but you've just unlocked a different way of doing it, and that will bring a new experience within that same thing. So yes, to the eyes it might seem limiting, but actually if you bring your full consciousness to each activity, you will see that it's completely different experience every day. And you choose how much you get out of it. So Krishna Consciousness is not, the blueprint is handed to you on a silver platter, but you have to bring your whole self to the table.
How to correlate the question? How to bring the whole self to? It almost seems like, how to give up that, especially in the Western world, we have this critical, skeptical mind. So it's very hard to to give up this. Then it demands this kind of idea of accepting authority. Seems almost like, is it blind surrender? Because you say, oh, you shouldn't find faults, right, and like that. So, but how to practically not do that? I mean,
well, firstly, where is your cynical mind getting you? What success are you having with that? By being your own master, how is your life going? Are you really happy? Are you doing something good with your life? Clap, clap, clap. No, you're a failure. So you've come to an authority. Now you have to get on your knees and have a moment of surrender. And, it's not blind. Look at who's around you. Look at what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they look like even. These devotees, they're shining. They're engaged. They're fulfilling their propensities. They're doing great things. They're like, I don't know how to say it. They're like thriving. So it's not blind. Look at who's around you and see if they're a role model to you. Just like the first time I met Maitreya Prabhu and Devi Mataji, I was on the train with them, and there's this girl that is has her hand in her bead bag and she's like she's chanting. And when she's not chanting, she's reading. And I was like, what? This person is like serious. So it's like, okay, girl my age doing that, bizarre, never knew that was an option. And then there's my Trey Prabhu, young man, he's looking at me with this intense stare. I feel no sense of like degradation or lust. I feel just like the soul is looking at the soul, like wow. So this got me thinking, whoa, these young people, they've got something going on, there's something there. So let me try and go and see what they're doing. So yeah, it's not blind, certainly not. You mustn't follow blindly. You must, if you want to judge a tree by its fruits. So you're all the fruit. You're very nice fruit. I also want to be a nice fruit. I'm rotten. So let me attach myself to you, to your feet, your lotus feet, and take what you have to say, because you're following Purujit Prabhu, who is following Srila Prabhupada. And if you trust Srila Prabhupada, then you must trust the devotees, because the devotees are also pure and perfect if they are following Srila Prabhupada perfectly. And that's why we're so lucky to have the association of His Grace Purujit Prabhu. His Grace, we don't just say that like formality, His Grace, like He's full of grace, He's full of mercy. We're here because of Him, because of His dedication and commitment. And so anyone who attaches to that level of a devotee is worthy of our respect. Yes.
I have another question. Thank you. This is a very nice answer.
Yeah, my question is, you see, you said during this time, samadhi is the best form of yoga, right? But that doesn't mean like the other methods are like impossible, right?
Yes, the other ways are impossible.
They're impossible.
They're impossible. You cannot, yoga means to unite.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga means union.
Yeah.
So unless you have Krishna, you don't know who you're uniting with. You can't unite with energy. You can't reach the same destination by taking any train.
No, but I'm saying there's other like methods of yoga, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so those other methods, they're not impossible, right?
Well, it depends what you want.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
To be happy, to be with God, right?
Okay, so Krishna's God, so here's Krishna. You wouldn't go anywhere else. You cannot find Krishna outside of a Krishna temple. You cannot find Krishna through silent meditation. You cannot find Krishna through strolling through a park. You can find his energy, and that can lead you there eventually, but it's a troublesome path, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna explains that the only way he can be known is through devotional service. So what we're doing here is we've said just what you're saying, I want to know God. So Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, engage in my service. So we say, all right, I'm going to engage. And we engage, and we get the realization. So this is on offer. Those other ways of yoga, so you can have a very flexible body, great. How does that help you realize that you are an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? We can't know these things except for in these books. We don't. You can't come to this conclusion because it's the most confidential knowledge. It's passed down through a disciplic succession. And although the blueprint of this knowledge is in your heart, it's there. You know it all already, but you've forgotten. So you're bound. And you need someone who is free to come and unbind you. So we go to a spiritual master, a master of spirit. Srila Prabhupada, like that. And he gives us information. And he tells us how to do it. And he says, just give it a try. Just give it a try. You know, you can go about trying many methods. You have done already. That's why you're here, because you're looking for the right method. So give this one a try. Just try. But if you don't try, and you're just looking outside, you're just licking the outside of the bottle of honey. You have to dive in. Krishna consciousness is a practice. So
Okay.
give it a go.
Well, you said it's going to be a troublesome path, right?
Yeah.
So that means it is possible, but it's harder than doing it this way. No?
Eventually you have to come to service. you can take the impersonal path and you can go for hundreds of millions of lifetimes. You can even reach the perfection of the impersonalist path. You can reach the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. You can merge. But eventually, Krishna says, I don't say, Krishna says. Krishna says, eventually you have to come back down because we need the personal, we need association, we need service. We're always serving someone. So don't think that when you meet God, your service stops. It just begins. But there's real service, fulfilling service. So are the yoga paths impossible? No, they're not impossible, but they're not the final step. They're a step along till you come to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the final key that gets you through the door, and you cannot know Krishna without service. So, sorry, you don't want to surrender, you don't want to serve, but you have to. This is the way. How does it go? Don't tell me. Hare Nama Kevalam. Kalo Nasti Eva Gatir Anyata. Lord Chaitanya, he comes and he says that in this age of Kali, the only way of attaining God realization, self-realization, is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. So that's not what we want to hear, because we want to beat around the bush. The path is clear. It's given. But we want to say, what else? There's something else maybe. Yeah, you're welcome. You go, you do that thing. But eventually you will have to come to Krishna consciousness. This is the way.
So what happens if you mix some of the methods with each other? Like you do this method and another method as well. What happens?
Like what other method?
What's the other one? There's devotion,
Karma yoga and jnana.
there's karma,
Karma yoga and jnana yoga.
and jnana. What's that? What's that?
Karma yoga, that is devoting the action of the fruits of your work to Krishna. That is also Krishna consciousness. And Jnana yoga is knowledge, attaining knowledge. That is also Krishna consciousness. But somehow or other, service must be there. Because if you are just reading about it, but you keep it here because I think I'm the enjoyer, then you're putting a distance between you and Krishna. You say you want to know God. Here an authority is saying, so you chant this Hare Krishna. It's so sublime. You eat, you dance. You don't have to join the temple. You don't have to shave your head. But you somehow or other, just like Lord Jesus Christ says, you honor your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. But how to do that? Srila Prabhupada gives exactly how. Because if you can't just speculate. I think that I'll honor my God with all my heart, and that means that I will go and have a nice chicken burger, and I'll say thanks, God. Meanwhile, you're eating one of his children. So you can't speculate. So, other paths, they might give an idea. Religions, they give an idea. Wonderful, Lord Jesus, Jai. But not this level of information. This whole purport is explaining that how to do it is to engage the senses. So this is what we're teaching, how to engage the senses. And you can do that outside. You can do that whilst you're working, whilst you're studying, even whilst you're doing, whatever yoga, hatha yoga. Like, you can do it. It's about your consciousness.
Okay. So, what do you think about Jesus again? Because Purujit said Jesus was prophesied in the Bhagavad Gita, right? So who is Krishna? Krishna Jesus, or what? Who's Jesus like?
Lord Jesus is our spiritual master. He is the best Son of God. He is. He's that. Who am I to say? He came himself, and he said that he's the Messiah, that he's the Son of God. So we must take his word for it, and he is. But he is not God. He never said he was God. He always is referring to the Father. So the Acharya is the spiritual master, just like Lord Jesus Christ. Just like Srila Prabhupada, they come and they point us in the direction of the Father, and they tell us how to do it. And depending on the time and the place and the circumstance in which they come, they give us the detail of how to find the Father. So, you know, one prophet might say, you do like this, and then the people do like that, because that's all they can do at the time. And then Lord Jesus comes and he engages his disciples, and he turns them into like monks, and he tells them to give up materialism and life is more than clothes. He says like that. So he gives the amount of detail that they can take at the time. He said that there's so much I want to tell you, but your ears are not ready to bear it. So he gives the information of how to love God according to what they can take. Fast forward to now, Srila Prabhupada came in the 60s. This is within our parents' lifetimes. And he gives even more detail. He gives all the detail, everything in all these books. You can find out everything how to do it. So everything that you read from Srila Prabhupada is exactly in line from the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ, because Guru is one. The person who is representing God, the bona fide authority, he's one. So you can follow, if you follow Lord Jesus Christ perfectly, then that's also great. But there's information missing, because he couldn't give everything. So his brother, Srila Prabhupada, comes and gives us Krishna consciousness.
Okay, one more question. You see, so why did Jesus eat meat? Like, why did he eat meat?
How do you know he eats meat?
It says in the Bible somewhere he ate meat.
The Bible's changed.
The Bible's changed. Okay, I agree with that. Okay.
Now, I'll answer this one because some interesting, funny person here is making a little joke. Mr. Giovanni is saying that there are thousands of Vrindavan-born Vaishnavas, including His Grace Gargamuni Prabhu, who do not subscribe to our version of Krishna consciousness. So he's wondering, how are we to believe that we are somehow getting the proper conclusion while they all get it wrong? What is their misunderstanding caused by that causes them to not acknowledge the service you do? So, first of all, if you want the answer to your unrelated, useless, nonsense questions, you should ask them. Why are you coming here? Why are you asking us? If anyone has some problem and you want to know what is that problem, why are you asking me? You should ask them. This is a foolish question. You're asking the wrong person, my friend. That means you're a fool, number one. And second of all, you're mentioning His Grace Gargamuni Prabhu. We have a message from him. He is directly praising the achievements of His Grace Purujit Prabhu and the blessed devotees. And third point, that what have you done for Srila Prabhupada? What have you done for Krishna consciousness? So before you speak, my friend, you should train at least one disciple, open at least one temple, distribute at least one book, and then you can come here and maybe speak some nonsense. All right? Okay, now, nice question. Shamdai Shivanandin is wondering, thank you Mataji for your question. She's wondering, are non-devotees affected when we chant and hear near them?
Answer. Thank you, Shamdai Mataji, for your question. Thank you for coming every day. It's very amazing. My answer to your question is that it is impossible to not be affected by the chanting, because it is a pure vibration. And actually, we're spirit. We're made up of energy. So we are affected by everything. Even if you see, just like Prabhu and I are reading about Ajamil, this story of this Brahmana, and he is perfect Brahmana, Paka, and he goes to the forest and he sees these two Shudras making out. He falls down hard. So what I mean by that is that we can get affected by everything. We get affected by negative things and we get affected by positive things. That's why association is so important. We're always getting affected by everything. So it is impossible to not be affected by this mantra. It is so pure, especially when spoken by the lips, through the lips of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. It can purify us in 1 second if we are available to that vibration fully. That's why attentiveness is so important. If we can learn how to chant attentively, then we can cut out that offense, we can chant Shuddhana, we can chant perfectly, and then we can know the real potency of the mantra by experience. But yes, it is. So what's a very nice thing to do is chant out loud and play the mantra and even read out loud. One time I was in a waiting room and I just read from the Bhagavad Gita out loud, and this guy just starts to listen next to me. He just starts to listen because we want it. We're souls. We want Krishna.
Yeah.
We're dying for it. They're hungry for it.
It's true. Many times, sometimes it happens. We're driving back from book distribution and we're like discussing Krishna consciousness, and you can see with the corner of your eye, you can see some person is just like, huh? What is that? I also want to hear.
It's so intriguing because no one has any stories as good as this. No action. It says in the preface of this Bhagavad Gita that, you know, it's no surprise that this Bhagavad Gita is so attractive to the Western minds. It's got everything. It's got romance. It's got history. It's got action. And ultimately it's Krishna. So it's all attractive.
All right. Any more questions? Any more questions in the chat?
On YouTube, someone asked.
No, on YouTube some person was quoting the Bible. He was saying Jesus Christ is the Lord, the truth, the way, and the life. So why are you here? It's your, you know.
If you really believe that, then you follow Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, someone on TikTok is saying that. Can you move a little bit your hand?
And maybe
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's paused because of this.
It's not. It works. It works. You have a question?
I've got one more question. Okay, I agree that I think the Bible's been changed as well. But how do you know the Bhagavad Gita hasn't been changed? Or the message some messages hasn't been like misconstrued? How do you know that?
Oh, they have. A lot.
Uh-huh.
This is not the only Bhagavad Gita. It's more than 400 different translations. But we're taking the translation from Srila Prabhupada. And have you ever heard a lecture by Srila Prabhupada?
No.
Have you ever seen a video of him?
I heard something on YouTube. I think he was chanting or something.
So what's amazing about Srila Prabhupada is that he only speaks what Krishna says. His purports, his explanations are perfect expansions and explanations of the text. When Krishna says, surrender unto me, offer your obeisances unto me, a rascal says, Krishna says, surrender unto me and, give me obeisances, but what he really means is surrender to me and give me your obeisances, or surrender to the unborn. But a pure devotee, a perfect representative of Krishna, bona fide authority, no change, says, Krishna says, offer your obeisances to him, give your devotion to him. So Srila Prabhupada is always putting Krishna at the center. He never puts himself at the center. He always is pushing Krishna consciousness, not Prabhupada consciousness. Or we are in Prabhupada consciousness because we love him. Mm-hmm. But how do we know that this Gita hasn't been changed? This Gita hasn't been changed because Srila Prabhupada is the most recent link in this disciplic line of succession. You can see on the altar we have this horizontal one. So Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. He came in the 60s. His spiritual master is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And he is the most formidable, I don't know if that's the right word, fantastic, erudite scholar of his age, best devotee of his age. His spiritual master, best devotee of his age, his spiritual master, like that, and it goes back very small, actually, Sampradaya. It's in the start of this Gita. So it's an unbroken chain. You can trace it.
Yeah.
There is no break. Each spiritual master is the best devotee of his spiritual master, all the way back to Lord Krishna. So you're very right to be, querying about the Bhagavad Gita, and you're right, it has been changed Of course they're going to change it. So many rascals. It's a pure text. But how do you trust who is purporting on that? Well, you also look at the fruit, look at what it's producing. You can take a bogus Bhagavad Gita by a bogus guru and look at the disciples, see for yourself. There are many, we can show you. It's very funny. You can take the pure Bhagavad Gita, look at the result. Young boys, they don't watch porn, they don't eat at Pizza Hut, they don't go out clubbing, because they're intelligent. They've been able to give up these lower things and engage in something wonderful. So it works. It's alive. Are you convinced?
Not totally.
If you like, this is a good point that Mataji made, because if you look as by the principle of parena parichete, that judge a tree by the fruits. If you see, let's say Bible, there's been changes, but even if you see the modern Christians, right, that they so-called follow the modern Bible, right, and the Bible that says thou shalt not kill, but they're all eating meat.
Yeah, it's true.
So that means that the authority that's representing the Bibles to them, they're bogus, because they cannot make the masses, their followers, give up sinful life. And all watching porn, there's a big problem. No Christian is free from these things. Pornography, meat eating, they have sex with their wife. They're not, but devotees, no illicit sex, no meeting, no sex, and even for there's no sex. There's not even for, for procreation, but there's no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, nothing. So, and the only person who will be able to do that is Srila Prabhupada. So his message is potent. And no other, if you see Muslims also saying Islam, but they're committing so many atrocities, in the name of religion, and also they cannot control their senses, you can see. So this is, you can judge by the result. That's it.
Yeah, I understand that, but what if it's like, this is what I think, right? I think Hare Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita text, is like the closest to like God's true words. I feel like, and but I still think there could be errors. There could be tiny errors, like, because you said it's been passed down from like the successor and but I don't know. To me, it's been too long, I don't know. To me, I don't know. I can't.
No, Prabhu, I think can answer this better.
Well, the point of the parampara, the simple succession, is that, see, every spiritual master, he is repeating after his spiritual master. And this conclusion doesn't change since Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. There's always the conclusion, okay, there might be when the book is presented in a different language, there might be a grammatical change. And there might be slight modification according to contemporary circumstances. But the essence is always the same. It doesn't change. So you can see like that. And there's...
What I can see is I don't think humans are perfect. They can make tiny mistakes, and even if they don't make a mistake, it could be the same word, but they could understand it as different.
The acharyas, the commentators on the scripture, they're not humans. They're
not humans. Wait, what?
They liberated souls without the 4 defects. They don't have imperfect senses. They don't commit mistakes. They don't cheat. They don't have
no mistakes.
Yes.
No.
Even the same with like Jesus and the suicide Dharmas, it was like acharyas who don't seem as like someone who's became as sinful world, able to commit sins. So perfect, so yeah.
It's, the principle is that one must accept a liberated soul as a spiritual master. If the guru is not liberated and is not a guru. So we don't accept ordinary man. So we have to accept a liberated soul. So but how to test now? That's a question. How do you verify whether Srila Prabhupada is perfect, right?
By going into the...
Yeah, you have to give it a test.
Yeah.
He gives a method
That's the only way.
by which you can become perfect. It's like, you go to school and you go to learn ABCD. So you go 7-year-old toddler and you challenge the professor, what is the proof that A is A, B is B? So what is your qualification to challenge the professor?
No
No
qualifications.
qualification. But what is the process? You accept it. And then later on you can
And then you
verify.
see-
Then you
yeah.
become qualified. Then you see, oh, teacher was right. Then you become a professor. So also we say, Srila Prabhupada gives us the method, and then you can also become a pure devotee. And then you will see Krishna face to face, and you'll see exactly, okay, this is how it is. But before that, because you are in a conditioned state. So by imperfect mind, you cannot understand perfection. So that's why you just simply have to accept the process. So
I
otherwise,
agree with that.
There's some questions here on the live stream.
So Bhakta Craig is wondering, is it better to serve Krishna directly, or is it better to read and chant and not serve him directly? What's the highest form of relationships and the perfection of service?
The perfection of service is to serve as the spiritual master, the bona fide representative of Sri Krishna, whom you cannot contact directly, just like you can't go to the White House and demand to see the president. You have to go through the secretary, you have to be qualified. So how you serve Krishna, how you even know to read and chant, you wouldn't even know the words read and chant in relation to Krishna if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada. So you must try and serve him. And he makes it very clear in his books how you serve him. He says you associate with the devotees. If you're working outside, you give money like that. You distribute my books. This is the most pleasing. Chanting, taking prasadam, and that's service, but that's for you. But in terms of how you're going to do something for Krishna, that is how you help Srila Prabhupada, how you associate yourself with Srila Prabhupada and his movement. And the easiest way to do that is to actually ask the Bliss devotees, because they are following Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for a nice question.
He's wondering also, what is the highest form of relationship?
With who?
I suppose with Krishna, yeah, because his whole question is about Krishna.
The highest form of relationship? Well, every individual soul has a unique relationship with the Eternal Lord, and that will be revealed to you when you are ready, when you can take it. That's called your Swarupa. So that's exciting. You get to work until you get to that point. It could be anything.
But there is objectively also the highest form.
It says you?
No? You don't know the highest form of relationship?
Is it conjugal love?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
What I do know is romantic. What I do know is that Krishna likes it very much when, because he's God and he's always in the center, and the whole awe and reverence thing, as I understand, it doesn't quite tickle him. Actually, what he really likes is when we just love him. Like in Vrindavan, his cowherd boyfriends and girlfriends, they didn't, of course they knew Krishna's God, but they're covered by, certain yoga maya potency. Anyway, the highest form is conjugal love and romance, but you have your unique relationship that will be revealed in service. Have to end the class now, everybody. It's time for the next portion of the Sunday Love Feast. So for those of you watching at home, sorry, but your Krishna Conscious journey ends here for tonight with us. Don't be jealous. Come down in person. And for the devotees here, we're going to move on. So thank you for hearing. Thank you for the nice questions. Hare Krishna.